So this is the tool we use to get the clutch basket off. Just rested it on this bolt and then use the 22mm socket to get this bolt loose, or this nut loose. After you get that nut off of there, then there's a lock washer underneath it, and then the whole clutch basket slides out after you take that washer out. That washer is supposed to be pinched down on that nut to keep it from moving. There's the clutch basket. And there's the washer behind it. And then there's two washer. There's this thin one that goes on first, and then this thicker washer that goes on over that one. That's the nut and washer that comes off of the flywheel. The nut obviously goes on second. It's going to come off first. Then you want to put on the flywheel puller, which is reverse threaded, so it's going to be lefty tighty, righty loosey. Make sure that this bolt is loosened all the way. Then install this one lefty loosey, and then put this one on and tighten it until the flywheel comes off. So then tighten the outside bolt all the way, and then the flywheel comes right off. And that's what the inside looks like. This right here is the timing key, and that lines up with that groove on the flywheel. So when you put it back together, make sure those two are lined up before you tighten down the nut. Now we're going to take the engine out of the frame with this bolt, and this bolt down here. Just 3 bolts holding the whole engine in. This bolt in the back actually holds on the swing arm as well, so you're going to want to prop up the frame so that the whole thing doesn't fall in half when you take it apart. So we got this motorcycle jack. We just jacked the frame up. Now we're going to remove those 3 bolts. We got the nut off of that top one, but this bolt is seized in there pretty good, so we sprayed it down with PB Blaster to try and loosen up some of the debris in there so we can slide it out. We're just going to keep spinning it so that all that PB Blaster will work its way in there, and then we'll tap it out from one side with a hammer. So after you take this long bolt off that goes through there like that, actually goes this way, take the nut off the end. We had to hammer the bolt out, we had to heat it, and use PB Blaster to get it out. The layout for the inside is going to be this spacer that goes inside there with the wheel bearing that is inside there, and then this chain guide is going to go on the outside with the cap on right there, and it's the same setup on the other side with the cap and the seal on the outside. And there's the engine out of the quad. Much smaller than most people think it is. So we ended up having a seized bearing inside the swing arm, and came out in 1,000 different pieces. As you can see, there's some in his hand right there, there's some on the ground. So that bearing just basically disintegrated into nothing when we heated it up and then beat on it, but it was probably already rusted and corroded to the point where it wasn't doing anything anyway. So we're going to get 2 new bearings, clean up the slides, and get new seals for the swing arm.